In the beginning of the scene, Kosugi yells at Akira while slamming his hand on the desk. He wonders with anger if they are going to meet the deadline or not, and that he doesn't care if he has 100-degree fever. He screams at Akira and tells him not to doze off. Akira was dreaming this whole situation and woke up in his bed in the morning, and soon realized that it was only a nightmare and he will not have to go to work, as there is a zombie invasion. He went up in his balcony and screamed good morning with happiness. Akira is seen starting day by throwing all his packed garbages from the balcony and cleans his apartment. He washed his clothes and kitchen. He feels really good after so long as he finishes his 3 years worth cleaning and organizing. He opens his fridge with great expectations and takes out a beer bottle and drinks it, standing in his balcony while looking at the beautiful sky. He feels refreshed and overjoyed to skip work and drink beer in the morning. The guilty pleasure of drinking with having freedom from work makes him feel revived. He compares his joy and freedom with that of the heavens, while there were still zombies lurking on the streets everywhere. The scene changes viewing the chaos and fire on buildings from the sky, and there is a female news presenter who is broadcasting news from the studio, while zombies were attacking from behind. The other workers at the studio is seen trying to close the doors from letting the zombies in. She tells the humans have turned into living dead, and the internet and telecommunications are down. She says that there is still no word from the government before getting attacked by a zombie. And suddenly, the news channel went blank. Watching the news on the television, Akira understands that things are pretty bad outside and wonders what will happen next. But Akira doesn't want to be bothered by anything. He is going to stay in his room and drink beer all day. He then reaches to his refrigerator to grab another beer, but is shocked in agony to see there is no more beer left in his fridge. He can't believe that there was no more beer left, but now he has to go for a beer run. Akira then looked down from his balcony with confusion and sadness, but only saw zombies walking around on the streets. He feels that they are a pain in the ass, but he has no other option, and he can't stay without having beer. In the next scene, a zombie is seen slamming itself against the door, and to get into Hosaka's apartment. Inside the apartment, there is a man and a woman panicking about the whole situation. They're confused, and the women almost gave up as the police or the GS. None was coming to help. The man said to the women not to give up and to survive for another day. The woman is in tears and asks how to survive, as she thinks it's the end of the world. The man goes to the balcony and slams his hand on the railings. And as he screams, "What are they going to do?" he turned his head left and sees Akira climbing down from the pipes. They looked at each other with shock and remained speechless. And the man and Akira both suddenly screams at each other. Hearing them screaming, the women come out to see and get shocked to see Akira climbing down through the water pipes. The women and man asked who Akira was and what he was doing. Akira tells them that he had to crawl down as there is zombies in the stairwell. They asked Akira to come inside as it was still safe in their house, but Akira turned down their offer and said he had to go down for a bit. They were shocked at his reply. Akira then introduces himself. He is Akira Tendo, and he lives just next door, and it must be fate to meet them like this. But it was nice meeting them. They were still shocked, but the man introduced him as Mr. Kozaka and his wife, Mrs. Kosaka. Akira says to them that he is going to the convenience store. He asks them if they need anything, he can bring it for them. Mrs. Kosaka then tells him to bring some toilet paper for them. Akira responds in positive. A zombie is seen biting a dead body. Akira grabbed the attention of the zombies by riding bicycle, and all of the zombies started following him. He soon realized that the number of zombies has increased since yesterday. He then says to himself, if all of them surrounds him, he will not be able to get away. But Akira says that it is better to get eaten by zombies than to live a second without beer, and rushes off with overflowing energy. Akira then parks his bicycle in front of a convenience store. There was also a camera attached to bike that zoomed in on Akira while he was pushing his way inside the store. Akira was singing some song while getting to the beer aisle with a basket on his hand. Suddenly, he saw a girl drinking water in the middle of an aisle. Akira was shocked to see that girl and stopped there. He was embarrassed as he was singing a weird song just now. The girl carried on taking things on her basket and looking at her phone. Akira went to her and greeted her. The girl doesn't reply to him. Akira embarrassingly tells her that he was going to loaf around and drink beer at home until he ran out of beer. The girl still didn't answer him at all and left. Akira stops her and asks if they could exchange contact info. But the girl replied coldly that it's not her business, but shamed him for risking his everything to buy something unimportant. She says she doesn't want to team up with someone who fools around during emergencies. So she did not give him her contact information. Just as a truck was going to hit Akira inside the store, the girl pulls him to safety. The girl already leaves as Akira got up to say, thanks to save her, and sees the truck driver also turned into a zombie. Akira's bicycle was destroyed, and he kept thinking that stuffs that happen in zombie movies can also happen in real life, so has to take things seriously to survive. He gets lost in thinking about the pretty girl and wonders if he will see her again. Suddenly, Akira snaps back into reality when he sees a zombie howling at him and decides to run back home as his cycle was damaged by the truck. He then found a scooter with the keys on it. He sees that there are stuffs lying here and there in the streets. He rides the scooter and thinks that he can travel easily with it, and the zombies will never be able to get to him. Akira then sees a much fancy bike and hops on it with excitement. He loses his balance on the bike, but still takes it home with him. He then crawls up in the pipe and calls for Mr. Kosaka and Mrs. Kosaka to ask them join him to drink. But when he reached their apartment, he saw blood. Footprints everywhere and broken glasses, and they were not in their apartment. In the next scene, Akira is seen drinking beer by his bedside, in front of the TV, watching news about zombies. He thinks that he could die today or after 60 years from now. So either way, there is not enough time to do all the things he wants to do. He looks outside of his balcony. The moon is shining bright tonight. He feels that life is too short to avoid taking risks. He opens his notebook of 100 things to do before he turns into a zombie. He picks his pen up and starts writing things he wished to do when he was a kid. But he would always find excuses and end up not doing them. He writes and crosses each stuff he accomplished till now, and also writes more stuffs he wants to do. Soon, he realized he has only 30 things he wants to do. He then has a flashback of his life till now in his head, which closes with a mysterious face of a man wearing a hat. He again starts writing down his wishes, and finally writes down that he wants to go home and spend time with his parents. Meet the woman of his dreams while a calm music plays in the background. He noted down 33 wishes finally, and closes the notebook. The scene changes, and the girl from the store is seen waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning. She opened her curtains and started running on her treadmill machine, playing the emergency broadcast in the background. She stops running and takes some protein medication and tries to contact with her main office in Los Angeles in her earpiece. She proceeds to her computer and lists down 100 things to avoid being a zombie. She wants to stay fit in order to avoid becoming a zombie. A man is seen tying his shoelaces and screams that he finally escaped from a roof of a building. But then suddenly, a zombie bites him in his shoulder. The scene is watched by the girl on her TV. She watches it to identify the type of zombies. She looks out her big window with a binocular to observe the zombies in the streets. She observes that there are zombies who are running, walking, and are dangerous. She believes that encountering zombies can increase the chances of her survival. She needs to collect raw data and gather essential supplies before the number of zombies increase again. So, she grabs her bicycle and sets out setting her camera and goes to the convenience store. She heads inside and grabs her supplies. That's when Akira comes inside, singing a weird song to take beers. She realizes that he isn't infected as he was singing, and she continued her shopping while viewing him with her camera that was set outside on her bicycle. She was surprised to see a survivor, Akira. Then the scenes were happening that Akira experienced before. Throughout the whole time, the girl was judging Akira. She thought to herself how a short-sighted person like him has still survived. She took her belongings and was about to leave and suddenly hears a car horn that was attracting zombies. She was thinking to escape the place before zombies came. She saw on her phone that a zombie driving a truck was approaching to clash in through the store door, and there was a lot of zombies outside the store already. So, she pulled Akiro at once, and the truck slammed inside the shop, crushing the other zombies. She took this chance and fled the place with her bicycle. She says that crappy movies can also sometimes nice useful ideas to escape. Reaching home after securing food, water, and essentials, along with important data, she sat on her computer and started studying the behavior pattern of the zombies. Suddenly, she paused at the clips of Akiro and thought with surprise to herself how a beer could make a person happy in a state of emergency. She then closed her eyes and had a glimpse of the desert she saw in the store, which she left to minimize her sugar intake. She should have grabbed it, but she regrets it now after being home. With this ends today's video. Please like and subscribe if you liked this video, and we will be back with more. Thank you for watching.